Weep Nation, what's going on? Sharc Gaming here, back with another mango video. And in today's video, we're going to be speaking about Syrup Village, aka the Ark of Usopp, the great liar, bro, brave warrior of the sea. So obviously, I'm going to join you back for another one. This is what it is. We left off, we've done 2 videos so far. This is video number 3. We did, what was it, Romance Dawn, and then we did Orange Town. You get me? Buggy so far was like the best villain. You know, was kind of showing you, okay, this is what a devil fruit pirate looks like, or at least this is what a devil fruit pirate in the East Blue looks like. You get me? Pretty interesting so far, I can't even lie to you. But now we've moved on to another village, and you know my style. We're gonna be a bit ranty, so we're gonna talk. But I now have 2 books. I have 6 volumes in this actually. It's about the next book. I ordered the other one so that we can read the Baratie arc after this. You get me? So I've already finished this. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get the next book soon. And it's been very interesting. I can't lie. He's now older that he's started answering like most of the questions, which is like one of the most important things. He started answering most of the questions like from mails, from fans. This is 1998, mind you. So clearly we're far behind. But we're gonna catch up because I don't know if the book is just short, which it isn't, because like 600 odd pages per book, I believe, which has like a lot of chapters in there. You get me? At least maybe 20, and or maybe not 20. Yeah, at least maybe 20 actually chapters in there. 600 odd pages, maybe 700 if I'm not mistaken. Is either the book is just really really interesting, or I'm a fast reader, or maybe it's easy to read. I don't know, but you have to read certain pages even 2 3 times because it's like you're imagining everything and everything just feels better. But anyway, we have now left Orange Town. We're on the way to quote unquote the Grand Line. We have 3 crew members right now. We have Nami, and we have Zoro, and we have Captain Luffy, of course. We have 2 ships, treasure on it from Orange Town, half of the treasure because Luffy left half of the treasure behind for the Orange Town villagers to rebuild the town. Such a good hero. Cool. Now they're on the way and they saw this deserted island. Nami, clearly one of the best navigators on the seas, she was like, no, Luffy, we're not gonna stop here. Luffy literally just took his boat with Zoro in it, because it's Luffy and Zoro in one boat and Nami in a boat by herself, but they're like rowing together basically. And she was like, no, we're not going to go there. There's probably no food there. There's nothing, whatever the case may be. But Luffy was hungry because they didn't have any food. So he decided to go because, he's free-spirited and he just, I don't know, maybe he knew that there was an adventure there, so he went for it. He went on the island. You get me? This was a deserted, quote-unquote deserted island, and they started seeing some weird animals. That you had a pig with wings and a pig that have sheep, this, and lions, and like animals that were basically mutated. Call it weird animals, anomalies essentially. That was pretty interesting to see. Zine, I have no issues with that. Then this voice started ringing out, turn back, do not step a foot on this island or I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Tutu's now, Luffy being the person that he is. At first he was a bit naive and he listened to it and whatever the case may be. Whatever. Long story short, this guy threatened them. Luffy said, okay, give it your best shot. He's lucky because one, Zoro was sleeping on the boat, so it was just him and Nami. He's lucky that he decided to shoot Luffy instead of shooting Nami. So he shot Luffy with a gun. Luffy's obviously a robo. So, he basically deflected that, and the guy started fretting. He was saying that he was God. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you're a god, then you'd know exactly what's going on with Luffy, and you'd know what a devil fruit is, and you know which devil fruit he ate, but you couldn't answer those questions. So that's what they caught you. You're not really that good at, and that's why I feel like One Piece has a lot of jokes where it's just like, these jokes are funny because most of these people act tough, and then in the moment they're like, oh, damn, they caught me. Damn, they caught on to me. Bro, you gave away yourself. Anyway, they kind of found him and realized that, he kind of looked like a bush, only to find out that this guy is inside of a chest, and he kind of looks like a hermit crab. And it's one of the funniest stories ever because you'd never believe why he was in this chest. This is just greed. I feel like every single story, because this is a small story. This was probably quick one chapter story that was very interesting. His name is Gaimon. He is actually a pirate. 20 years ago, or 18, I don't remember how long it was, but 20 years ago, came there on an abandoned island with his friends or pirate crew. They raided the place, looked for treasure, didn't really find any treasure. They followed a treasure map. Most treasure maps, once you found the treasure maps, logically, more than likely the treasure is already gone, because how else would you have found the treasure map? You get me? It's not like, oh, I leave my treasure here and then magically, even though this treasure map has existed for 50 years, you find this treasure map 50 years later and you expect the treasure still to be there. You do expect that maybe other pirates have seen this treasure map before, taken the treasure and just left it out there to give somebody a hopeless quest. You don't think that was the case? Oh, who cares? Anyway, so basically, they were looking for treasure, didn't find it. He selfishly looked on top of on top of a mountain. He climbed on top of a mountain, right? Because they found a chest right by a mountain cliff. He climbed all the way up by a mountain. Handsome looking fella, you know what I'm saying? And he then looked up and saw 4 to 6, I think, chests. He was like, yes, treasure. That's where the treasure is. Da 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 da. He shouted at his friends to say, hey, we found the treasure, blah blah blah. Upon doing that, he tripped on the cliff. I don't know exactly what happened, but he tripped on the cliff and he landed splat perfectly in the empty chest that was down at the bottom. Not beside it, not on top of it, but inside of it. When he got up, which is maybe, I don't know, a day later. No, he probably got up a couple hours later, because he still saw his ship with his pirate crew. What's the word I'm looking for? Sailing off. But my question is, like, I know nobody's like responsible for individual pirates, but there's nobody on the ship that once said, yo, where the heck is Gaimon? You know what I'm saying? And then considering that, they'll be like, oh, wow, where's Gaimon? And they turn around and go, oh, the last time I saw him was on the island, and that, we haven't seen him since then. Turn back and sail to the island just to check to see if your crewmate is there. Because if they had turned back, let's say even if it took a week at best, you know what I'm saying? Because now his body has grown into the shape of the chest 20 years later. So clearly if you remove the chest, then he's just going to be like a pudge and he's not going to be able to move as good as he wants. Fine, he's going to be very ineffective. I get that. But why wouldn't you turn back for your crew member unless he wasn't that important? Because there's no way I see my crew member or my friend or my classmate or my workmate go missing. We all go on a voyage. We all go somewhere. Arguments like we go to dinner. You know what I'm saying? We went to dinner. Everybody went in one bus. We went on a trip. Everybody went on one bus. There's no way we went on the trip. And on the way back, we realized, oh, whoa, where is XYZ? And we can't find him. And we don't go back to where we're coming from. Fine, we're in the social media age, where we can call and text and whatever. But let's just assume we can't. All we have to do is go back and make a check. Nothing beats a check, Go back and look. If he's there, fine. If he's not, then whatever. Anyway, long story short, he spent 20 years on the island, and obviously because he cannot climb, because his body is now different, and you need to be like have your full range of your legs and your hand to be able to climb. He can't climb anymore. So he was like, oh, he's been protecting this treasure for the longest while, but how can he protect something that, I guess he protects it because people usually buy that whole God thing, that he's God and he shoots after them and whatever, cool. Because he's also protecting the animals, the weird animals that are on the island, because really and truly people come there to harvest them for meat or maybe exploit them. So he is really there like a guardian. He has definitely grown to accept the fact that there are weird animals, as well as himself, that are on the island that he's there to protect. So that's actually a very good lesson to take from it. You know what I'm saying? A quote-unquote dirty pirate eventually turned out to be a hero. Oof, who would have thought? Anyway, he then asks Luffy, or Nami in this case, if they could help him to get the treasure. He just wants to know da. Luffy, because he's rubbery, he just stretches up there and he looks. So Gaimon was like, hey, is it up there? He's like, yeah, I see all 5 or 6 of them. They're all here. He's like, okay, throw them down. Luffy says no. Nami's like, why would you do that, Luffy? You're such a terrible pirate. Gaimon is like, nah, he's actually one of the greatest persons alive, because, oh my God, Straw Hat, you're just God sent. Like, thank you so much. I always believed that maybe there was no treasure up there, and now after 20 years, my mind can rest at ease. Basically, what happened is that, Luffy literally didn't want to hurt his feelings, so he didn't want to send it down. But basically, he figured it out that, hey, Luffy's protecting him, because at the end of the day, there's no treasure up here, and he would have been sad. So that's just another way of Luffy being emotionally intelligent. As stupid as he may seem, he's very emotionally intelligent, and he has basically, as I said, liberated or freed the concept in Gaiman's mind where, he thought that there was treasure up there and is there something worth protecting. But the true treasure that was on the island is the friends we made along the way. No, the true treasure that was on the island was actually the animals that he was protecting, the whole state of it that he was protecting. You know what I'm saying? Because Luffy, for some reason, I don't know if every single time somebody becomes a good, like every time Luffy identifies somebody as a good person, he says, hey, um, can you join my crew? I don't know if it's a case where Luffy just say, hey, he doesn't even look at the talents and be like, oh yeah, okay, you're this, you're that. I need this for my talent. I feel like he just likes good people with good souls, good morals, and he's just like, okay, you have a good soul, you have a good moral. I want you on my ship. I want you on my crew. Gaiman wanted to come, but as I said, he's the protector of the island now. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense why he can't leave, because if he leaves, then the animals can't necessarily protect themselves. So they leave the island. Gaiman gave them some fruits and berries. Obviously, couldn't give him any meat because he's protecting the animals. You get me? So he gave him some fruits and berries because they were hungry. And then they popped up on an island where Nami was like, "Okay, fine. We need to get a ship. Maybe we can go to this place. There's a little village after a little section right there that we can get some food and we can get a ship. Hopefully." They went to Syrup Village. There's this guy, and I'm gonna call him the boy who cried pirates, not the boy who cried wolves, but the boy who cried pirates. Basically, he every single day, as clockwork, he shouts to the village, pirates are coming, run through the village, and the villagers come out, they're quote unquote annoyed. They come out, run him down, and try to beat him up because he's causing mischief. But the truth of the matter is, the village is very boring and he's just keeping them on them toes. But eventually, the more you say something is the more somebody becomes more desensitized to it. Unless you're telling them that you love them, then I guess the more they hear it is the better they feel. But if you tell me every single day that this is going to happen and then something never happens, then eventually your expectation drops and you stop taking it seriously, you know? It's just like when you do a hurricane drill 500 times and the hurricane doesn't come, which you don't want the hurricane to come, of course. But when it comes now, it's like, yeah, you know what to do, but it's just like, you know, maybe that's a bad example because at least when you do the hurricane drills or the earthquake drills, you kind of know, you're kind of ready, you know exactly what to do. So maybe that's a bad example. I apologize. But basically, he was there with his two of three pirate crew. He has some little kids as pirate crew. They're called the Usopp Pirates. Coolest thing ever, actually, because his name is Usopp. Fair enough. And one of the third member of his crew ran and said, "Pirates are coming! Pirates are coming!" Usopp was like, "You guys are you're lying." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Nah, I just saw them. They brought him down there." Like he's actually the funniest person ever, and I feel like he's probably gonna become one of my favorite characters for now because he's definitely human and he's realistic. Cause he's a coward. I tell you that he's a coward, but what he says and what he does doesn't match. So even though he's a coward and he's always trying to run away from things, he doesn't run. He gets up and he fights the battles that you don't expect him to fight. So in terms of it all, I genuinely like this character. And maybe I'm spoiling things, but he's genuinely a very good character. I really love how Oda developed this character in this arc. But we're not even close to finishing unfortunately, So we're just gonna jump into So basically, as I said, Nami, Luffy, Zoro, they come on the dock. What's the word I'm looking for? Usopp confronts them. They have these conversations. Very interesting. Usopp is like, oh, don't like he's basically doing the same thing that Gaimon did. He's protecting. He's a great pirate. He has 10,000 men or 5,000 men or eight. He has some sort of amount of men that like he's the protector of and whatever, whatever. And I'm just like, he said that he has a big pirate crew and this and that. Like, it's very interesting. And then Luffy, he basically says, "Oh no, I think they went into the where did they go? I think they went to get some food." So they went to get some food, and they basically asked him, "Hey, where can we get a ship?" He's like, "Well, it's a small town. We don't really have any place to do that. The best place he could do is maybe that mansion on the hill. They have a rich girl over there that maybe can give you a ship or can sell you a ship or whatever, whatever." They plan to go there. All of a sudden, Usopp disappears. The Usopp pirates think that Nami, Luffy, and Zoro ate Usopp because they just finished eating and they're like, "Oh my god, the meat was delicious, blah, 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 whatever, whatever." So that was pretty interesting. And when they're asking, "Hey, where Usopp went?" they figured out that usually around this time he goes to this lady and that's called Kaya. You get me? Everything. This is this girl who her parents died within the last year, and Usopp has been going to her within the last year since her parents died to assist her with stories. So he cheers her up, giving her stories about his brave escapades upon the sea and just entertains her basically. Because, as I said, this is a story without social media and those type of stuff. So it's literally you have to live in the moment every single day. And because of the shock that has occurred with her parents dying so abruptly, she's fallen ill. To me, that's very suspicious. I think that maybe somebody's spiking her medicine because she's taking medicine. But Usopp just goes there to make her feel something. So technically, she never liked him at first, but she develops into something where she likes him. She really enjoys his company. She has this butler called Clahador, and she has this other, I don't know if it's a butler, but she has this other helper called Mary or Mary, whichever one you want to call it, but it's Merry. Mary. Regardless, he, I don't know, Clahador, he looks definitely, I mean, knowing what happened now, and obviously after looking at literally the book, it kind of tells you everything you need to know, obviously. But he did look suspicious from day one. But his mannerism, I really liked how he switched it up, and he seemed like the kindest person ever. I find people who do those type of stuff sometimes that look too good to be true and too innocent to be true. They're just so performative, and I would have caught on. But maybe I'm saying that because I'm the reader and not the person that's into it. But trust me, I'm suspicious towards everybody, so it doesn't even matter. Anyway, basically what happened is that he caught Usopp. I think, yeah, he caught Usopp because the word came in that there were people in the yard. What had happened is that Luffy, Zoro, all of the crew went up to that mansion, asked Kaya, they're like, hey, we need a ship. Can you help us? Blah, blah, blah. We have a favor to ask you. Clahador came now, and he's like, Usopp, like he basically was rage baiting Usopp because he knew that one, he's a town liar, everything he says is BS, and three, that his father was a pirate. His father is Yasopp, who actually sails with Shanks, and Luffy realized and said, yeah, Yasopp actually told me about you. Like, I know your father. Like, your father and I are friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know him. He's a brave warrior to see that. Usopp never even know that his father was on the red hair pirate ship, which is Shanks' ship. So that was pretty interesting. Anyway, Clahador rage baited Usopp to try and make him look like a ruffian. So he basically rage baited Usopp. Usopp punched him a couple times, which is very funny because when you realize later on that Clahador is actually way stronger than Usopp, and he's actually probably the second strongest person in this chapter, or maybe third, maybe Zoro is stronger than him. I don't know. It was actually quite interesting to see because you're looking at it, you're just like, wow, he's purple. He's playing this character down to a T because you'd never suspect that he's actually this good or that he's this dangerous. But anyway, couple minutes later, because Usopp storm off, everybody storm off, whatever. Luffy and Usopp are down by the beach. They see Clahador and this guy, Michael Jackson, basically. His name is Django. He's a hypnotist. They're talking on the beach, and he's calling him Captain Kuro. He's like, Captain Kuro, is everything ready for your plan? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, my plan is set. I'm ready to do whatever. We're going to kill the girl, but first you have to hypnotize her and get her to sign the will so that I can get the property and whatever. And like, there's this whole big reveal, but Usopp and Luffy can hear on the cliff. So then Luffy being Luffy gets up and he's like, hey, I heard you, and you're doing you're terrible. You're a bad person. I can't believe you're going to kill that poor girl, blah, 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 blah. So they see him and they're like, huh? Did you hear anything? And, that kind of trope. Django hypnotized himself and Luffy to fall asleep. Luffy fell asleep and fell off the cliff and landed on his head, so they thought that he was dead. Kuro is so overconfident that he said, no, just let Usopp live because nobody's going to believe him. Usopp went back, tried to warn the entire village, tell them exactly what's happening. Nobody believed him. Then he went to Kaya's mansion, told her, basically kind of move with like a brute force to move her. Mary ended up shooting after him and I think shot him in his arm, and he ran off. Because you had both the villagers, no, three, the villagers, the guards, and Mary that were kind of after him in a sense. And he ran away, and he basically he then lied to his crew, the Usopp Pirates, the little kids, tell him that, oh, I was lying, I was just making up a joke, I was trying to get back at Clarador because he made me seem like I was lying earlier, da 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 da. They basically told them that they were very disappointed in him and they can't believe that they did that, whatever, whatever. But Usopp was there trying to figure everything out. Then Luffy, Nami, because Luffy, they found out that Luffy was still alive, of course. Zoro them went for him down there by the beach. Luffy, Nami, and Zoro, they said, hey, we're going to help you. Nami said she's here for the treasure. Um, Zoro said he's here to slice up somebody, and Luffy said he's here to punch up people. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't like bad people. And they asked each other what they can do. Luffy said he punches. Nami says she steals. Zoro says he slices. And Usopp says he lies. It was the funniest thing ever. Anyway, they made this big elaborate plan because based off of the plan by dawn, the Kuro pirates or whatever, the whatever pirates they're called, they're gonna come up by the what's her name? Kaya didn't believe Usopp, by the way, because she's very hypnotized, which is very funny. She not hypnotized by Django, but she's caught by surprise. She thought that Usopp was lying, da 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 da. She said that how dare you ever lie on top of Kalahadors like that, blah blah blah. Whatever. There is something that actually comes back, and maybe I'm not doing it in order. I'm very sorry. I'm not really good at this whole review thing, but I just really enjoy how good the chapter is. And the mere fact that I have so much to say, and I'm still missing out so many things, but the mere fact that I have so much to say about the chapter, it just speaks volumes exactly why it's so good. So basically, what happens afterwards is that they make this whole plan. They put this oil slip, blah blah blah. Realize that they're at the wrong dock. Wrong dock. You have two docks. You have the north one and the south one. So they're at the south one, expecting that the Kuro pirates would be there by dawn. Dawn came. Nobody was there. They thought that they heard the pirates making noise, but they're actually at the dock that their ships were at. So, long story short, Usopp, Luffy start running towards the direction. Luffy got lost, of course. Zoro is on his way. Nami holds on to him because she's slipping on the oil and flings Zoro down there. And she kind of said, hey, Zoro, I'm sorry, one of us have to be there. Da, 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 da. So she ran. She ran, leave Zoro, which was hilarious, left him there, whatever the case may be. And then she and Usopp reached over to the next dawn. They started fighting. Usopp has mad endurance, by the way. Usopp has mad endurance because basically he actually got hit in the head with some hammers, bro, some axes, all sorts of stuff. He was bleeding like crazy. This guy might not be a human. I don't know, like or either that or humans have crazy durability in this anime or this manga. And I must say, the night before, Mary was saying, oh, Usopp was saying how you were this and whatever, but we don't believe him. And Kaya bought you a gift, glasses, because it's now 3 years since you've been with us. Tomorrow will make 3 years since you've been with us and whatever. Kuro smashed the glasses and killed Mary, or at least he thought he killed Mary. So in the morning now, when Kuro was there waiting, it was a little bit past dawn, and he was like, they're late because his pirates were supposed to come in, kill all the villagers, and then Django was supposed to come up and hypnotize or kill most of the villagers, rather. Django was supposed to come and hypnotize Kaya so that Kaya could write Klahadore in her will and then kill her so that, he would own the entire estate and he could live peacefully and it wouldn't seem like anything crazy because Captain Kuro, low-key, wasn't being Captain Kuro and he was dead. The reason why he was actually dead is because upon years of being a pirate, he made a name for himself and the Marine was constantly hunting him down. And he was like, yo, I'm just so sick and tired of having to deal with the Marines every single time. They keep finding me and I have to be killing a lot of people. And we just living life on edge. And he's like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to retire, basically. So I'm going to kill myself, essentially, So he was like, hey, as of now, he said to Django, who is his first man or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call him, vice captain. He was like, hey, I'm really tired of being a pirate and I'm going to stop being Captain Kuro. I'm going to kill myself. He boarded the Marine ship and he used some wicked attack and basically killed 99% of them and left 2 of them alive. Then Django came on board. Well, the rest of them came on board. Django hypnotized a specific person and they dressed him up just to look like him and hypnotized him into I am Captain Kuro, a man with 1,000 plans, whatever the case may be. And then they had Captain Morgan, who he broke his jaw. That's why he has the metallic thing, bro. It's full circle now. Captain Morgan, who he broke his jaw. Broke his jaw, Captain Morgan, who broke his jaw and probably cut off his arm. I don't know. You get me? Maybe that's why his name is Captain. He hypnotized him into believing that he captured Captain Kuro and then he got him executed. So maybe that's why he even became a captain, because he got rid of one of the most famous pirates on the East Blue. So that's why he became a captain for the Navy. So he hypnotized him into saying that this is Captain Kuro, and then he executed one of his own men. But the world thought that it was actually Captain Kuro that got executed. So that was something that was very interesting. Long story short, though, the plan was that he actually had this elaborate plan. He actually killed Kaya's parents, of course, but he had this elaborate plan that he was gonna lay low for 3 years and kind of just slowly kill off the members of the family, make a reputation for himself that's so good that nobody would ever suspect that he did anything to that extent, and then he's going to now inherit a fortune and just live good for the rest of his life. Doesn't have to be a pirate. Obviously, I guess it kind of sounds like a good escape plan, but to wait 3 years just to do all of that, I guess you weren't anticipating that a weird guy named Luffy and Zoro, etc., was gonna pop up. But long story short, they fought on the beach. I'm not gonna go into too many details, but they fought on the beach. Kuro actually started hurting his men because he can't control his attack. He has claws, like cat-like claws. He can't really control how he handles his men. This is basically, I don't know if you can see it, but that's basically how the fight ended. Luffy obviously took him down, and Usopp took down the jungle guy right before he killed Miss Kaya, because they were in the. She came onto the scene because she finally found out that, hey, Usopp was not lying. He was just doing it to protect her, and whatever Clawdor was against her. His overconfidence actually scares me, because he genuinely believed that he could take on everybody and beat them. He was letting too many people live, letting too many people go, and then he was giving too many people opportunities to make up for themselves. Like, you had the brothers. I don't remember the Clat Claws or I don't know, the two cat brothers, Siam brothers or whatever. They were fighting Zoro. They kind of said, hey, we've been fighting for 3 years and you have been here just being a butler. Like, you don't order us around. They attacked him. He dodged it, and then he had the claws on both of their necks and said, hey, maybe I have become a bit too soft because I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to finish this. If you don't kill this Zoro guy in 5 minutes, then I'm going to kill you guys. And obviously they didn't. Zoro, for some reason, he can't fight without 3 swords. Like, he can't fight effectively without 3 swords. Is that going to be a limiting factor for him? You get me? Because if you want to be the world's strongest swordsman, you can't be, what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the world's strongest swordsman doesn't have 3 swords, or not using 3 swords concurrently. They're not using them all simultaneously at one time. You get me? So if you want to be the world's strongest swordsman, you're gonna have to learn how to use one sword. So I can understand that it makes it interesting that you're a 3 sword style user, but bruh, come on. Like, the whole time he was getting boot to ass against the Siam twins, but or Siam brothers, but as soon as Nami kicked the 2 other swords to him, he took them down with ease. Just makes, I don't know. Anyway, basically what happened after that is that Luffy started fighting Kuro. Kuro told his master, and no, Luffy started fighting Kuro, and the rest of the pirates were there, I guess, standing up or looking around, whatever. And Django pursued the Usopp pirates who ran away with Kaya to protect her. So he's there trying to hypnotize her, get the will, and then kill her and kill the Usopp pirates. Usopp and Zoro went after Django. But one, Usopp is mashed up. 2, Zoro is terrible at direction. So Usopp basically had to be his navigator, which wasn't doing a good job at that time anyway. So Kuro then told his master plan that he actually planned to kill every single pirate that was there, because he didn't want any evidence, he didn't want any trace to know, anybody to know that he was still alive. So while he's living his peaceful life, he's going to kill all the pirates. And that's probably going to make him even look better in front of the villagers, because he somehow defeated all those pirates. So he's going to be the hero. Nobody's going to suspect anything. In the casualty, I guess Kaya just died. Long story short, though, Luffy defeated him, because he doesn't like how scummy of a pirate he was. Luffy's a man of principles, a man of morale, And Usopp took the final blow against Django. Zoro cut a tree limb. Usopp, while dropping in the air, he threw a special fire bird attack that got Django in his face. The Usopp pirates, bro, they were funny, bro. The little kids that running and hitting him in his nuts and hitting him in the head with cleavers and whatever. They got some proper hits. I can't even lie to you. Like Django was dealing with them dangerously. But all you had to do was just kill them. All you had to do was kill them and you wouldn't have the issues. Because in the end, they're the reason why you ended up getting defeated. You know? Anyway, but yeah, Usopp basically, you know, took them down with the last shot, which was very poetic. Very poetic. But in the end, when you were just looking at like how exactly it went, they went back. Usopp realized that hey, after this battle, he definitely belongs out at sea. He disbanded the Usopp pirates, and then he said, "Hey, I'm gonna become a brave warrior of the sea, and I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna find my own ship. I'm gonna become a captain, and I'm just gonna take on the Grand Line. I'm gonna become a great warrior of the sea, just like my father, basically." His father is a sniper, by the way, and Usopp is a sniper, which makes it very ironic and very cool to find out. But regardless of the fact, he packed all of his stuff and he was on the way home, and he told this is one of the best things. After the battle that they had, I know I'm going back and forth, but after the battle that they had, he told the Usopp pirates not to tell anybody that any of these things happened, and he didn't say nothing, and don't tell anybody anything, because what they don't know won't kill them, and he kind of wants them to, he doesn't want the glory, he wants them to know him as the town lion, not the town hero. As much as, yes, he's always talking about he's the glorious Captain Usopp and he's done this and he's done that and he's defeated giant goldfishes. But no, he doesn't want any of the glory. And this is why Luffy really gravitated towards him. He literally said to Kura, hey, even if you have 100 or 1,000 obedient crew members, you'd never be a better captain than Usopp. You'd never be able to defeat him because Usopp got heart. He got lungs. He got spirit. I touch the wrong places every single time, but that's just what it is, And basically, I know I said basically a lot, Mary and Kaya gifted Luffy, Nami, and what's her name? And Zoro, sorry, with the ship. The ship is called Marigo. So now they got 2 crew members. They got Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and the Marigo. Because she counts as if it's a she, he or she counts as a crew member, of course. I mean, ships don't talk or like feel anything, but they count because, as you can see, Luffy values his treasures. So he now has 4 treasures: Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and the Marigo. So, but Usopp didn't join ahead. He was just like, "Oh, well, good luck. Thank you for helping me." Blah blah blah. Luffy literally looked at him and said, "Yo, so why are you not on the ship? Come on the ship." He was like, "Huh?" Zoro said, "Get on the ship, brother. Aren't we friends?" Luffy said, "Aren't we friends?" He's like, "Yeah." So get on the ship. Usopp's like, "Yes, I can be the captain." No, Luffy said, "Nope. I am the captain. Understand that. I am the captain. Don't you ever get it twisted. I am the captain. I am the captain. Don't you ever get it twisted, Usopp. I am the captain." So anyway, they left. I know I'm missing out a few things, but they left. That was pretty cool. They drank some beer or booze or whatever on the ship. And now, I don't know where they're headed as yet. Well, we know because, as I said, I kind of already started reading. They're going to Baratie, but he's going there to eat food. Or maybe he'll get a chef, or something. But I still think they need a doctor. I really think that they need a doctor. Because as you can see, like they get injured every single. As I said, their durability is crazy because there's no way 1 week has passed. And even 1 week, logically, 1 week cannot heal most of these wounds that they've gotten, bro. Zoro got sliced up in this arc. Luffy got head damage, blood loss. He literally fainted from blood loss. Usopp got damaged. His nose literally broke for some reason. And all of them are still standing and happy and whatever. Something's not right. Even Nami got blood loss, bro. Like, is this the trend? Do they actually need a doctor then? Because my word, like I don't get it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. 3 chapters down, and I guess not chapters, sorry, 3 arcs down. We have maybe so many different arcs to go, but hey, it's good. I know there's nobody really watching the videos as yet. I got 11 views on the first video. I have 0 views on the second video, and well, as of now, And obviously, this probably gets 0 views as well. But I'm just gonna keep posting because hey, maybe one day, even when I'm done One Piece or I'm just done, just recording these videos, maybe somebody will pop them up and see them like another day and be like, oh wow, he used to make One Piece content. You should make them again. It's like I did what I could and I could what I did. But yeah, I'm out.